Hello guys, the DB Grinder here, back at it again with another video, and this time I have my branded deck from the YCS this last weekend in the 3v3. All around, we went X2-1 and dropped round 8. We lost round 8 and that kicked us out of the tournament because we were X1-1 going into day 2. Then I played a 3v3 set event the next day on Sunday, and we ended up winning that. Well, I played with a different team, but I ended up winning that, so I got like an uncut secret sheet, which is kind of cool. And let's hop right into the deck profile. So let me go ahead and move that over. Shout out to the Capybara. Our team name was Capybara Studs, and the 3v3 set event is Capybara Big Rat. But hopping right in, start off, we got 3 Aluber. This is just obvious. I shouldn't really have to talk about this. It's consistency. It's a dark monster. That's a starter, so it helps it out a lot too. Tragedy, Adlib. We thought about cutting Adlib for a while, but I'm very happy that we didn't. There's a lot of spots where like this card's just really broken. You just use it to like bring back Mirror Jade, or you can use it to bring back like Aluber for follow up. Honestly, I used it to bring back Aluber a lot, just to be able to swing over fields with the Quaddle. But those are like the Despia monsters. And then I got 2 Fallen of Albaz, standard. You know, if you play 3 of this, I just don't understand why. It just doesn't make sense. 2 Blazing Cartagia. So, first of all, you want to be able to like get access to this card a lot, and when you have 2 of this and 3 fusion deployment, you have like a 50% chance. But then also, even if you have this card in your hand, there's a lot of times where you want to be able to like Branded Fusion dump this, and then you're able to get it back during the end phase for free. I really like 2 of this. We were playing 1 of it for a while, but then realized it wasn't worth it. Oh, also, if my voice sounds weird, it's because I'm definitely sick. 1 Albion the Shrouded Dragon, standard. 1 Springen's Kit. Oh, by the way, I probably should have done my shoutouts. I completely forgot. But, I'm going to just do it now. Shout out to Anthony, John, and Charlie. John and Charlie ended up getting second at the main event in the YCS. So that's really cool. Charlie really didn't like this card. He wanted to cut it, but you just kind of like have to have it as another like consistency card. Then it's also nice to be able to banish the Mercarrier to get access to this, especially if you don't want to like go through your tragedy with Gold Sark. Then 1 Mercarrier. A lot of people play 2 of this. We were talking about it for a while, playing 2 of this, and then we just realized this card's just a brick. It's not good. Like, it's good if you combo, but if you don't combo, then you just have a bunch of dead cards, so you're pretty much just completely relying on Branded Fusion to not get ashed, which is like the biggest problem with the deck, and always has been. And also, even if you do end up doing the play where like you banish this with Gold Sark or whatever, you can still just bring it back with Expulsion and use its effect on field, so you really don't need 1 of it. Then 1 Lubellion, 1 Sornier, that's it for the Bestials. Magma Mutt, Druis Worm, all those cards are just really bad. They don't actually do anything for the deck. Like I guess if you go first and you have Branded Fusion go through, Mercarrier, Bestial in hand, then sure. But you didn't need these cards to win in the first place. You do need 1 Lubellion, 1 Sornier though. These come up with your engine a lot. These are just like the engine requirements. And then Dark Magician. This is to summon out Dragoon. This was probably like the MVP for me all weekend. I won so many matches just summoning Dragoon. You literally end on just Dragoon pass. If they out it, you can Adlib summon back out the Dragoon, or you could just Branded Fusion into another Dragoon because you put this back with Lubellion. And then 3 Branded Fusion, 3 opening. We thought about cutting this down just because it takes a lot of cards to use this, but I'm really happy that we didn't because consistency is very key. If you play with this deck, there's probably a way to win. Branded Fusion, it's just a 1 of. I only needed the second one of this like once throughout the whole weekend, and it was honestly just because I think I played the game rather bad. So this shouldn't have even came up at 2. Branded Lost. This card's crazy. This is what you grab off Lubellion. And then 3 Fusion Deployment. People that don't play this card, I don't understand why. This literally just summons Blazing Cartagia for free. You can also summon Fawn of Albaz off of it. You can also summon Dark Magician. And then I'll show the other card that I can summon in a second. 1 Foolish, 1 Gold Sark. Just more consistency cards. Even if you draw these like with Branded Fusion and Engine, you can still actually just go through these just to try to get like Ad Lib or something for free. Also, Goldsark was really broken for me all weekend just because you banish from a carrier, add Albion, Albion dump, get a draw, and then that like puts Fallen of Albaz in rotation. Summon out Cartagia. Called by, I really hate this card, I'm not gonna lie, but you just have to beat Ash, and yeah, so figure out main deck it. It's also really good versus like the mirror match or something. 3 Book of Eclipse, everyone played this card. It's good going first, it's good going second. I definitely want to change it. Now, my next going second cards, I would consider changing the 3 Econ and 2 Talons. The reason why I would consider changing these is because Charlie and John both decided to play 3 Nib, 3 Ash, while I decided to play 3 Econ, 2 Talons, and Upstart. Now, I really liked Upstart. Having 39 cards in my deck felt really, really strong. There was actually multiple times where I upstarted into a starter, and I was like, oh, let's go, because if you play, you feel really good. And then also, with all my going second cards, being able to like be drawn, you can afford to play less of them, because you can draw them as their 6th card, you don't need it like on their turn, you can draw it as your 6th, which also made Upstart a little bit better too. But I do think I would end up changing this and playing Nib in the main deck, because I think more Kashtira players are going to know how to properly play their deck now. And then I would also play Ash, because I think there's going to be more Branded and more Labyrinth. But those cards were good for me all weekend. Talons, to be honest, this card was broken. I don't know. This card was clean. So maybe I'd end up playing more of that card. I would have to think about it more. 1 Retribution for Albion, and then 1 Expulsion. This card's nice. There's a lot of times where you can't get anything in graveyard to target with your Branded in red. So if you can't set this up, you can't set up an interruption at all a lot of the time. So we wanted to be able to go for this. This also beats Evenly, which we thought a lot of people were going to play, and it did come up. This card also, it just like, you can like tribute Mirror Jade and summon to your field. Like, this was a very common occurrence where you summon like Alibur Cartagia, you get follow-up, and then you can Cartagia, or you just like bring out Fallen of Albaz and use that to go ahead and fuse. So there was a lot of cool ways to use this card. I'm definitely happy that we put it in rather last minute. And then Capybara, Ray, Free Andres Torres. For the extra deck, I played 2 Lubellion. People that play one of this are crazy because it's going to get ripped. And this card, you have to have this card at 2. 2 Mirror Jade standard, 2 Albion standard. Honestly, the third one of those came up a decent amount. But I do think you probably should only play 2 of it. You can still win those games. And then 2 Dragoon. This works with the Dark Magician. You need this and Lubellion in your extra deck, so that way neither of these can get ripped. So that way you can still do this. If your opponent sets up full cash board and you just activate Branded Fusion, you summon Dragoon, and then Dragoon is able to go ahead and wipe the board a lot by itself. And to be honest, you can just end the game a lot right then and there. So this card was broken. And honestly, I didn't get to do it one time against a full cash board, but there's a lot of other times where I got to do it against a lot of people. The card's also really good for when time is coming also. And Blazing Cartagia is very free with it. 1 Guardian Chimera, you just have to have it for Branded in red. Also, this is like kind of an out to contact C, because you can use Blazing Cartagia to summon this, and like, that just outs contact C. 1 Grangoyle, you only need 1 of those, don't play 2 of it. If you're going second against Kashtira and they get to the point to where they're ripping your extra deck, this card won't come up. 1 Glory Dragon to search for a carrier. 1 Quaddle to summon off of the Dust Dragon. I'll talk about the changes I would have done to the extra deck in a second. 1 Dragos to Palia, this card was crazy. 1 Sprin, this is to really play around Contact C. And then 1 Rinworm. So I'm pretty sure I only summoned this card once the entire weekend, and that was when I used Fallen of Albaz with an Empen to summon this. So that was actually really funny. But the changes I would have done is I would have cut Quaddle for Proskydion, and then I would have put Sprint into the side deck and have played Masquerade instead. The Masquerade that I play in the side deck, because game 1 people weren't going to contact see me. Maybe after this event though, more people will be on contact C, especially in their like hand trap decks. And then shout out to Studs group chat. Played Aquania. Shout out to Jay for getting me this card. Mine didn't come in the mail, so I was really stressed I wasn't going to be able to get it. One Aqua Dolphin. You reveal this off fusion deployment, summon Aqua Dolphin, and this plays around Ash Blossom. So we had, we also had 3 crossouts. So we had 8 ways to really beat the Ash on Branded Fusion, because you have these 4, 3 deployment, 1 called by. So we should be able to beat Ash more often than not, post side at least. And then played the Gimmick Puppet. You just summon this card off Expulsion, and then it goes to their field, doesn't activate, doesn't have to stay on the field. So even if they have Eclipse, it doesn't matter. They won't be able to special summon for the rest of the turn except for Gimmick Puppet monsters. And then this one's really important because you can actually reuse it, because you can Tragedy, reset Expulsion, and then out this, and then go ahead and re-give it back to them. So if you don't have a lot of follow-up, you can still go for this play. If you don't have a lot of follow-up, you usually don't go for this. Like if you don't have Oliver in rotation or something like that. But there are some times where even if you don't have the follow-up, you can still afford to just re-go for Gimmick Puppet, just because it's like so strong. Masquerade. This card is for one of the timers, clicking down. Yup, 3 contact C's, cards for Branded and Cash. Cash players, I feel like are going to learn how to play around this card if it gets really popular, just by not using their normal summons, so that way they contribute over this. But it's still probably not going to be enough a lot of the time for them to still be able to like full combo you. But this card, I only drew it twice, I think. And I'm pretty sure both the times I drew it, my opponent started with Unicorn Right. So I wasn't able to use this. And then 3 Ash Blossom. This is for like Branded, Labyrinth, decks like that. You also at least need 1 in the side deck for crossout. And then 1 Nib. This isn't for crossout. This deck just doesn't, like, it doesn't hurt if you get hit with Nib. This was just to make the numbers make more sense with the side deck patterns and everything. A lot of people just throw 3 ofs in their side deck. I really don't think that's correct. Because if you play like, I don't know, 9 cards for a certain matchup, but you're only okay with taking out like 7 from your main deck, then you just don't know how to side deck. So you should know your side deck patterns before going into a tournament. And then the last card was just 1 Imperm. This was for like a lot of the rogue decks, but this was mainly for the crossout. I wanted a card that I could hit. Like, I felt like having another card for crossout was really strong. And I definitely am happy that I played this with this. I'm pretty sure I only got the crossout Imperm once, but it was like really impactful that I was able to do that play. And then also on top of that, I was getting hit with Imperm a lot over the weekend. It's sad when you lose to this card, because you really shouldn't be losing to Imperm, but I still play crossout for it. I don't think this card's like that bad either. But that is it for the deck. Like I said before, shout out to Charlie, shout out to Anthony, and shout out to John for working on me with this deck. Anthony was really the big brains behind this deck, who put everything together, and then it was kind of just me, John, and Charlie who got to actually play it at the event. I think that this was one of the best decks in the room. I thought about changing the Labyrinth relatively to last minute, but I didn't have enough time to test it, and I already had like a week and a half of testing with Branded, so I figured this is just the deck I'll play. And I think Branded was very strong. Overall, throughout the entire weekend, I got 1 draw and 2 losses. My 1 draw and 1 loss were in the main event, and then my 1 loss was in the 3v3 side event. But it's a team event. You shouldn't really focus on your individual record unless it like makes you feel good or something, because like you did choose your teammates and allowed them to play the decks that they played. But I did have a lot of fun, so that was nice. I was very confident going into this weekend, and I don't know, I just love Yu-Gi-Oh! I've been playing it so much recently, and I don't plan on stopping. But that is going to be it for the deck profile, and the DB Grinders signing off. Peace.
What do you get when you combine one of the best current animes with an anime trading card game, arguably the best? Inspirations such as Mami Fenrir, inspired art by our design teams at Little Gato Cat. There's no better time than now to get this playmat, now that Kashtira is entering the meta. Here's how to win. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like. Leave a comment on this video that you've done so. Once you've done those 3 steps, following the week after the release of Photon Hypernova, we will announce the lucky winner. We will send you Mami Fenrir, a Kashtira Makima inspired playmat. But if you would also like to purchase one, there will be a link in the description below. Good luck. Oh, and here's a sneak peek at what's coming next.